Alright people, we are finally back from our vacation, our little hiatus, and as you can see we are going up against Light here, and of course me coming back and starting to record battles for the first time. Of course the capture card wouldn't work for the first minute and a half or so of the battle, so we're mid-battle here, and we led off with Celebi, got up our rocks, and took a Hurricane from Tornadus. They go for another Hurricane and miss, unfortunately. They are using a rain team, as you can see, if you guys want to just pause the video here so you can check out our teams, because I missed the team preview. Basically, we're in RU, and we're trying to use either Blastoise or Nasty Plot Life Orb, Vacuum Wave Lucario, or Scarf Ganondorf, Pangoro over there with moldbreaker Iron Head. The anti-Mimikyu strat, of course, though they are not using Mimikyu. So here I figured that they'd switch out into Metagross or Politoed or something, fearing Sacred Sword or Extreme Speed or something like that. So they go Politoed, fearing the Sacred Fire, or did I say Sacred Sword? I meant Sacred Fire. Also to get up the rain for their rain team standard set. I'm like, okay, no problem. I will use Scarf Pangoro here, and I'll knock off their damp rock, so in case the rain runs out and they try to set it up again, at least it won't really last for as long. Also, it's just a good hit on anything, I figure. So we're chilling here. We're just waiting for him to go for a move. I believe the way that the IVs or the stats work out, I think Adamant is 1 point faster, actually, believe it or not, than Mimikyu, which is why it works out so well. And I think after Rocks, it's a 50% chance, or might be guaranteed. It might be 50% because I don't think there is any one guaranteed way to defeat Mimikyu, guaranteed without Rocks. Or no, maybe it needs Rocks, or it's 50% after. I don't know. Either way, that is range of another knockoff, so I'm going to go for knockoff here. I know that they're not standing. They're not going to want to lose their range setup. Even if it doesn't have its damp rock, they're going to switch out into something, and I'm going to chip something, and I'm going to be happy with that. So we'll see what they want to go out into. They go out into their Rose Raid, and it's going to take a nice and powerful knockoff after these rocks. Bada bing, bada boom. Look at just how powerful Pangoro is. That's not a crit or anything. That's just raw, natural power, man. So yeah, take out the Rose Raid. Excellent. Of course, Rose Raid isn't known for its defenses, but you know, a kill is a kill for Ganondorf over here. Looking nice and powerful. So I've also got Earthquake on this thing in case there were any levitators, but I don't think that's really going to come into play here. But at least we're getting some kills with this thing, which I like to see. And thank goodness we didn't get thrown out by that skull. We got lucky there. So, obviously, I know that they're going to go for either a Draco or Hurricane or something like that. I'm going to sack off Celebi. It's done its job. It got up its rocks. We don't really need it anymore. So why keep it? I'll send this thing out. They go for the Hurricane. You know, really, I mean, this thing has really just been relegated to utility for me. I mean, it's useless in UU and OU, mainly because of Zarude and stuff like that. And plus, there's just so many better things in OU, like Ferrothorn. We go out into our Mimikyu here. Did I say I mean, Zarude. It's out. Celebi is put down by Zarude. Either way, though, we bring on our Mimikyu. I figured that a +2 Shadow Sneak probably wouldn't kill, so best to go for the Play Rough, even though I do have a chance to miss. I figure we would take this thing out. They do get the Confusion on me, which is made me a little bit uncomfortable though, not gonna lie. I was kind of a little bit afraid here, but I knew that in the end Mimikyu would pull through the confusion, and was able to take out the Kingdra, one of the biggest threats to the team. Now I do have plenty of priority, but I wouldn't want to lose. Like literally, I got Shadow Sneak plus Vacuum Wave plus Extreme Speed, but it just would have sucked to have lost Mimikyu at that point. Really. So at this point, Mimikyu's chilling, and whatever comes in, we'll be able to get some chip on it with a nice little shadow sneak, of course. Just waiting on them to make their move. Yep. They send out their Tornadus Incarnate, of course. So here I'm like, well, I may as well get some chip with Shadow Sneak. No really point in switching anything out, I don't think. I was looking at the turns. They still have 3 turns of rain, and they still have their Politoed. I'm like, huh, well, what am I going to do? I'm like, I really don't want to switch anything in here on a Hurricane, considering that's 100% accurate. It's always going to be 100% accurate, but I was fairly certain that I could probably do is Shadow Sneak into either Setup with Shell Smash or Extreme Speed with Choice Band Dente. So Mimikyu is able to break through the confusion once again. Very sad. They missed their Hurricane, and now I'm breaking through all the confusions. You know, it is what it is. So they raise their Spatak. It's very lawful hacks, you know. It's just like, you know, nothing is like, it's not like missing a 95% play rough, you know. It's Hurricane that they missed without rain. And then they've gotten confusions on me, but I've broken through every single time, which is like good because, you know, if it really would suck for me to hit myself in confusion here and not be able to get this damage off. But snap out of confusion and we're able to get the Torn down to easily range of Extreme Speed. And they hit me with a Hurricane. And I'm like, okay, this is fun, this is fun. So I think they have one more turn of rain left. So here I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go out into this. Now, I don't think I revealed Extreme Speed yet, but this is probably screaming Extreme Speed here, so I probably should have predicted and gone for Sacred Fire, but I didn't want to take any chances here. I didn't want this thing to go for Hurricane against me and get me down low. So I was like, even if Metagross comes in, whatever, I can probably set up with my my Blastoise with it and win. Because if they ever send out the rain actually helps me in this case. So go for the Extreme Speed. Do absolutely nothing left to be expected. I mean, it's non-stab and it's a Metagross resisted hit. And they are leftovers as well, which does kind of suck for me. So I'm like, alright, I gotta get out of here ASAP. So probably gonna go for EQ. I want to keep Ganondorf just because I have a Scarf, though I'm pretty sure that Scarf Ganondorf still gets outsped by Tornadus, if I'm not mistaken. Because it just, like I said, it just barely outspeeds Mimikyu. So we send out Blastoise as they go for EQ. And it does a pretty good chunk, not gonna lie. Had me a little bit scared, but I'm like, well, pretty sure that their only move to go for what's going to do anything is going to be Earthquake, and I can live another one. I just hope that I can live an Earthquake, another Earthquake into a Bullet Punch, or maybe they only have Bullet Punch. Either way, Shell Smash is my only game playing here. I've thrown the dice. It's time to see if it all plays out. So we'll see. Because if they do go for the Earthquake, I will be in Torrent range, of course. So further boosting my Surfs, which is excellent. So just waiting for him to make a move here. I'm telling you, man, there's a reason why Mega Blastoise got banned. But it's just crazy, though, that it makes that much of a difference. I mean, Blastoise is an NU. It's a super powerful Pokemon in NU. It's still an NU. But then its Mega form is banned from National Dex. Of course, it has Mega Launcher, which basically gives stab to Aura Sphere and Dark Pulse and Dragon Pulse and all that stuff. In addition to like a 135 base attack, and then you get +2 off of that. So they go for Earthquake here. Gets me pretty low. I don't know if Bullet Punch could kill me from there or not. I'm going to calc it real quick. Of course, they seem to be some type of defensive set. It says it does 12 to 14%. So that could probably kill me, considering I'm not defensive. Of course, if they are, that's if they're like max adamant. If If they're not, then it does like 10 to 12. So we might still die, I don't know. Either way though, I'm like, well, do they have bullet punch or not? Are they gonna take me out? What's gonna happen here? Like, I am very scared at this moment, because if I lose my Blastoise, I mean, I'm forced to. My only thing to kill this is either, I don't think Pangoro can knock it out in one knockoff. It probably dies to Meteor Mash or something, and then Entei, Politoed just comes in, but they throw away their Politoed here, and they get up the rain for me. And because they switched out, tells me they probably don't have bullet punch. So I'm like, what are they doing here? Because this seems just like a total throw to me. Like, why just throw it out just to die? And I'm like, okay, there's only one thing that they could possibly have gone for. And, well, honestly, I don't know. Probably the better thing was to just sack off Metagross and go into this safely without having gone out the rain. But I'm like, alright, I am rain boosted, torrent boosted. There's only one move I'm clicking here. So, let's see what happens here. And they took rocks, which tells me that they are, not Magic Guard, they're Regenerator. So they go for the Surf here, and it lives on 3 HP. Are you kidding me? I'm going to calc this right now. I've got it on my phone. So we're going Calm. And I just knew based off that, I'm like, this thing has to be Assault Vest. That's the only way. I know this thing is super bulky naturally. It's got 110, 85 SpDef. But I'm like, man, you're telling me this thing lived a +2 modest torrent attack. Like, are you serious? So put in torrent, says it does 45 to 54. Put in rain. Level 50. Dang, this is doing even a lot less than. It might not even be max, honestly, based off. I guess that's just how bulky a Reuniclus is, man. So 70 to 83. Oh, I'm still looking at the battle. So here I'm like, okay, well, I send in Pangoro and I can knock off. Something's dying here. I don't care what it is. And this is just to prove to myself that this is Assault Vest. So maybe they're not max. What if I do like 128? Because it has to do like. So if it lived on like 1 or 2%, 100 minus 12. So it's doing like 87 to 86%. So they have to have, it's not max, I don't think. They send out the Torn. Yeah, because max, if it was max SpDef everything, it would be doing 83% max. And it does at least 86 at level 50. So here, I'm like, okay. I really need to save this Pangoro just in case for the Metagross. Just because this Lucario cannot really hit Metagross one bit. Unless that Dark Bolt doesn't a sight. I live on 1 HP, my guys. That's crazy to me. I'm like, bruh. It doesn't really matter because all I can do is go for Vacuum Wave. And in the grand calculus of the multiverse, that is not going to matter one bit. I sent this thing out to die, but Lucario's like, nah, brother. I'm dying on my own terms. That's how this works out. That's the only way this works out. So go back out in a Sacred Sky. And I'm like, okay, that Metagross is at full. I'm like, they could switch out. And I don't want to be caught in a position where I lose either Pangoro or this thing. So the safest play to me seemed to be to tank a Hurricane, which unfortunately they get a crit. So hopefully making up for the fact that they missed one before. Of course, if they had hit the other one, then it probably wouldn't. I would be forced to go for extreme speed here, and then they would have gone out on the Metagross and would have been. Bottom line, I probably should have just gone for extreme speed here, but I didn't want to force the situation where they switched out and I was forced to lose a Pokemon because I guaranteed loss. So in comes this thing, because I need either of these Pokemon to win, but I got this play right, sort of. And they don't have Bullet Punch, and we snap out of Confusion. hit him with a Sacred Fire. So yeah, this was an incredibly close game here. Very crazy. So we're able to pull the win out in RU versus Light. That's GG's. Incredibly close game, by the way. A lot of my Pokemon got to do what they needed to do, except for Lucario. Got a Vacuum Wave off, Tank to Hurricane. Other than that, hope to use Pangoro one of these days. But in the meantime, we'll see you guys in the next Wi-Fi battle. Bye-bye.